I feel like my just mental health has like changed so much because I'm like seeing more of who I am as a person, not as like an object. We had this like big ass like double-ended I was like doing shit that I've like never done before.
What about your 5 top sex tips? Just like what have you learned from doing the work you do?
Because really it's like it's a very dangerous industry and I wouldn't recommend anyone doing it. Like we weren't dating, but like it got to a point where like I stupidly was seeing him for free. Well, he's just got a massive like sorry to say. Like,
Okay, so exciting because usually when I do a Thursday episode, it's not for video, it's not for YouTube. It's just me chatting to a guest in the studio, but we are doing something really special today because how could we not? We have one of the most incredible sex workers and content creators out there that I know you are obsessed with because when we posted about her coming on the show on our Instagram at Triple J The Hookup, so many of you messaged being like, oh my fucking God.
no way.
Tell Kayla I love her.
I love you guys.
So very exciting. We have, you probably have seen her on TikTok, Blue-Eyed Kayla, aka Kayla Jade
She's
in
here.
the Hookup Studio. Kayla, thank you so much for coming in.
I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
So for anyone who doesn't know Kayla has absolutely blown up on TikTok over the past couple of years. 2 million followers at the moment. You're on OnlyFans. You're an in-person sex worker. And I think the massive thing about why people love you so much and how your content has done so well online is the fact that you are so open and candid about your work. And it's like nothing that I think people have seen before. So I'm really excited to hear about your journey. And really excitingly, you have just released a podcast. It's called Storytime.
Oh yeah, it's very, very juicy.
So is it going to be like what we see on TikTok, but you just kind of explaining?
Yeah, well, there's only so much I can say on TikTok. So it will be like sort of the uncensored version of it in a way. And there's so much that I haven't shared on TikTok. There's still so much lore behind this. So I'm like, it's just going to come all out on the podcast. There's like no filter whatsoever.
I can't wait. I was like preparing for this chat obviously and like looking on Reddit and people would just like had all these like fan theories about you and really? The lore and stuff. So I was like,
try not to look at Reddit.
No,
trust me.
never look at Reddit. Never, ever look at Reddit about yourself.
It's brutal.
It's like brutal, especially just comment sections anywhere. But
Anyway,
yeah, but like people are like, you know, delving deep and I'm sure like it's something that a lot of fans will be really excited to get from you and just to like have, because so many of your TikToks just feel like you're just chatting to a friend on FaceTime.
Yeah, like that's pretty much how I started it. I was just like, because I started about, it will almost be a year ago, that TikTok. And I kind of just made it to just like talk shit to my like sex worker friends. Like I did not think it would blow up the way it did. But like, I think because I was just authentically me, like unapologetically, and I think that just resonated and related with people so much. So
yeah, if you haven't seen, we'll pop up some TikToks here to show you from Kayla's TikTok, but a lot of the content is just like you debriefing after a client or like you being really candid about the impact it has on like your mental health or like, you know, you kind of doing a like show and tell of a hotel room before you're about to go see someone or just chatting about the industry. And I think that it's just been so refreshing because I think with a lot of OnlyFans content, it can come across, and we talk about this in the Hookup a lot, like that it's just so accessible for everyone and anyone, and it's like this glamorized thing.
Yeah.
So before we get into all of that, I would love to know about your journey into sex work and OnlyFans. How did you get into it?
Yeah, so I sort of just like stumbled upon it. Like I hadn't really had any exposure to sex work before. Like I dabbled in it a little bit when I was younger, but like it was all very new to me because I came from like a pretty small town. And then, yeah, like about 3 years ago, I was like, I had heard all these women like just making so much bank on OnlyFans. And I was like, I think I could try this out. So that's when I was like, I dove straight in, like Googled how to make an OnlyFans. And
do you get like a Wikifeet, like, not Wikifeet, Wikipedia like tutorial?
Unfortunately, there there was like no information out there at the time. And like I really had no friends at all that were doing it. Like my friends back then were pretty like, you know, just get a 9 to 5 job. So I really had to just like figure it out on my own. Like I was trying to look it up on YouTube, but obviously like with the censorship, there was no way like YouTube was going to have that kind of stuff, especially back then. So yeah, I just kind of like delve into it. I was like posting on Reddit, like thirst traps on Reddit, just like trying to like, I was in like different subgroups, like trying to get subs because I started from no following. Like I didn't have, like I had 0.
Well, that's the thing with OnlyFans, right? Like I think that misconception is that you can just start an OnlyFans, then you'll make heaps of money. But the reality is that you need a social media following, right? Like
yeah,
most of the time to try and get people to come to your OnlyFans by like talking about it.
I mean, it's definitely changed so much even in the past like 3 years. Like when I started, I feel like there was still room to be like, you have no followers, you still can grow. But I feel like it's so much harder these days to make money on OnlyFans. I read somewhere that like majority of people on OnlyFans make like minimum wage, like less than minimum wage, which is insane. I was like, what? When I heard that, that's crazy.
Which is why I think like your work that you do on socials is so great because you are so transparent about that.
Yeah.
And talk about the reality of what it's like. Did you like with OnlyFans just do a few things at first just to see how it felt and then like eventually like what was the journey on OnlyFans with the content you were creating?
I pretty much rushed straight into it.
Love that.
I was like, if I'm going to put all this content out, I'm going to make the most of it. But honestly, don't take that advice because that was just me being impulsive. But yeah, I did my like first ever girl collab. Like that was crazy. We had this like big ass like double-ended dildo. I was like doing shit that I've like never done before. I was like, what the fuck? But like I've always been really sure of like, you know, making sure that if I collab with someone, like I connect with them and like we have a connection, like we get along really well. That was something that was always really important to me. And yeah, you can see it on the camera. Like you can see that we are actually enjoying ourselves. Mm-hmm. So, and then like ever since then, like I started with like a few girls and then like I dabbled in a couple guys. Like I think one of my first ever boy collabs was Girthmasterr, my baby.
Okay. So if you have been listening to The Hookup for a while, you would know that Pip and I are huge Girthmasterr fans. We've had him on the podcast a couple of times, I think, especially when he was just starting out and we've just been like watching his journey and it's just been so incredible and he's just such a lovely guy. And so he like is your friend? Because you guys post a lot together, so you guys are good friends?
Yeah. We're like really close now. I can't even make a movie with him anymore. I'm like, no, you're like a brother to me now.
You started out making movies together, right? And then
we've got like 7, I think. Like we even did live shows together. It was so random. That was like back when he didn't even show his face. Like he like, oh my God. So we had like the ski mask on. We were doing like live shows together on OnlyFans.
And for
I have to remind him about that.
Anyone who doesn't know Girthmasterr, obviously the name speaks for itself, like has a huge girthy penis.
He has a, very girthy cock.
How did that go?
It was fine. I like a good challenge, especially back then. I was like, right, I can do it.
Let's go.
I love a good challenge. And plus like I went to America as well. So I was filming with a lot of guys in the States and they have quite large members. So I was just like, yeah, let's do it. Let's go.
Do you have to prep or you just like, nah, let's...
Well, when I was in the States, I actually took this guy, his name's Dread. I took him backdoor and he's like, I don't know if you've seen him, but he's fucking huge.
I haven't.
Yeah, you'll have to look him up
I can only compare it to Girthmasterr because we've got his dildo just in the office. You need to put it up here. I know, I'm like, we need to put it up here so everyone can see. I'm like, we'll just get absolutely shadow banned on every platform possible, which we continuously do. But yeah, I'm like, that when we spoke to him, he was telling us just like a lot of girls that want to do collabs with him are just like, I'm really sorry.
Yeah. Well, he's just got a massive cock. Like, sorry to say. Like, you know.
It's all in the name. And so I love this friendship. So do you guys like hang out now just like outside of work? And
yes. Yeah.
And like obviously watching each other grow in this industry would be so nice.
It's incredible because we both started at the same time. And like I remember when we first met, we like did like a scene and then I was like going to an event after and I'm like, oh, do you want to come to this event? And we like went and like hung out and like there were lots of like different sort of porn stars and stuff there. It was like a sex event.
Yeah.
And we were just like the little ones there like, oh, you're just so cute. Like, and like to like every time we meet up, we're just like, what the fuck, man?
How is this
happened?
alive?
What? Like, why? Like, this is so. He's like, oh yeah, I'm doing this and doing this and doing this, and I'm like, I'm doing this and doing this, and we're just both like hype buddies. We're like, fuck yeah! Like, I'm so glad to see him like doing so well. Like, it's just incredible.
I loved the video you posted the other day with you two, where you were like, you were eating at a restaurant or something. And there was like all these like champagne and like celebration, and I was just like, I love this friendship.
Yes, it's good.
So like we were saying before with OnlyFans, like a lot of people do have to get the social media following to then get the traction to OnlyFans. So when because you only got TikTok last year.
Yeah, like I had TikTok before that, but I was like doing really like thirst trap content.
Yeah.
And like this is the first sort of TikTok where it's actually like resonated with me, and I've been like, oh wow, like this is like what I want to do. Like this is like more me. Because before it was just all for the guys, you know, but now it's like the girlies, and like I'm loving it way more.
It's like your content is like story time, like pretty much like your podcast, like just storytelling. And you talk really openly about the fact that like all of your followers are girls, right?
Yeah.
Why do you think that is? Like, why do you think that that's shifted for you, and like a lot of the engagement is just like women?
Yeah. I guess like when I sort of started it, I kind of started with like, I don't give a fuck attitude. I was like, if I'm just chilling, I'm just doing my thing, I'm just being real, like my real self. And I think that really related to a lot of people, even though they obviously don't relate to it because like I'm a sex worker and I'm telling them like what I'm doing and stuff. Like I felt like in a way they were just interested in what I had to do. Like I especially like in public, like I'll have like a lot of like even mums and like older daughters, like 25-year-old and like an older mum, like they'll all come up to me and be like, oh, we both watch your content and like my TikToks, and like we just love it so much. Like, yeah, so I think people like almost like to like watch it and like live vicariously through me. Like they're not going to do it. They don't like relate to it, but it's just interesting for them.
I feel like that's why I love your stuff as well, because I'm like, I just want the tea. You know what I mean?
It's like what's going on in Kayla's world.
I love a bit of gossip, and I'm like, tell me who's fucking, what are they doing, what's it like?
There's so much I can't share on there as well, and I'm like, oh,
yeah, you do such a good job of
I don't want to get sued though,
censoring as well, like for the platform of just being like,
yeah, I have to make up little code words like yeah, can't say any sexual words because obviously that's just going to get flagged straight away.
Yeah.
But that'll be more on my podcast. I'll be like, I don't have to censor anything
100%.
as much, I guess.
With like your following and, you know, being like a lot of, well, mainly just like women and girlies, there's been like obviously a lot of conversation lately around like Anna Paul and a lot of backlash around her audience, like potentially being really, really young and like a lot of young girls. And then like we've seen a lot of the backlash around like Bonnie Blue and like her trying to target like really young underage, like barely legal guys. Yeah. What do you think about that, about like sex workers who were, I guess, like whose responsibility is it when it comes to like who actually is following you?
I mean, it's our responsibility as sex workers because we're putting that stuff out on the internet. I feel like with the rage bait content, it almost like sets us back in a way. Like we've come so far in the last like even 10 years. And I feel like stuff like that, like the rage bait where it's just like it's getting views because everyone's hating on it. It sets us back in a way. But I mean, as like adult creators, I feel like it's our job to sort of like make the audience know that we are adult creators, so like young people, especially on TikTok, don't come across them and then like, you know, we're doing like illegal lotteries and things like that and children are going on our websites. We don't want that because I feel like those two should just be completely separate. Like, you know, I feel like it should be very clear like what you do.
Yeah.
So like there's no confusion.
And transparency.
Yes.
What about like parents who were worried about their kids or like their daughters looking at sex work content on socials and like being inspired or like it being glamorized and like worried about that?
I mean, I think it's up to the parents at the end of the day what their children are consuming. I don't think it's like obviously the sex workers have a job to like make sure, you know, they're transparent and everything's like, you know, okay. But I feel like at the end of the day with parents, like it's their responsibility
Totally.
to keep their children safe online.
Do you feel a certain pressure as well with TikTok? Because I think like women just feel this across the board. Recently, Pip and I did an episode on plastic surgery and dating and just like just being on socials and like that pressure of just like seeing it constantly and then being like, oh fuck, like maybe I'm going to do that. And just like that pressure on women in general. A lot of our listeners sending questions. We got a question from Tash who said plastic surgery and sex work. How did getting work done change your online and in-person engagement? Has it changed how you engage with the adult industry?
Interesting. Yeah, I feel like back when I had like surgery, because I've had 2 BBLs, and I don't think my plastic surgery has helped my like recent TikTok career, but it definitely helped being like doing thirst traps and things like that. Yeah, it's funny. I recently shared on my TikTok about like a really bad experience that I had with my BBL. So I think it's just like showing the dark side of it as well. I've like been feeling so much myself lately that I haven't felt the need to get those things. Whereas I feel like when I was more like thirst trap content and stuff, I always felt like I needed to get the next thing. Like I need to get Botox, I need to get filler, I needed to do this. But now like I don't even think about it. So I feel like my just mental health has like changed so much because I'm like seeing more of who I am as a person, not as like an object.
And knowing that like so much of your popularity and engagement has come from you just being authentically yourself, right?
Yeah.
And being so candid, like that would just be so reassuring to be like, I don't know. I just feel like girls feel so much pressure to act a certain way when it comes to like sex and like how we present ourselves online. And then like generally just like showing up, no makeup, like getting ready with me, talking candidly about how you're feeling that day or whatever. And it's just like so nice that people are like engaging with that content, being like, fucking yes, Kayla.
Yeah. Like don't get me wrong. I still have bad days. Like I still have negative comments that will like talk about my appearance and like it occasionally gets to me. But a lot of the time I'm just like, fuck it. Like what do they know?
Oh God. And like I was just thinking like imagine who they are. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like click on their profile.
Yeah. Oh my God. There's this trend happening at the moment.
It always actually comes from men though.
Like, 100%.
Literally all my negative comments are from men. And I'll see like the most beautiful people online and they'll just be the most insane comments from men. I'm like, who are you?
Have you seen that trend, which I've been like loving? It's like these like reels and TikToks of people sharing like photos of celebrities and like the comments, the trolling from guys, and then they go and click on the guy's profile and it's always, have you seen that? I'm dying.
It's like the worst photos.
It's always the worst photo ever. And I'm like, the fucking audacity for Greg, who's like 55 and like balding, to be like,
seriously,
Selena Gomez is ugly.
Oh my God. It grinds my gears so much. Like makes me so angry.
It's so funny. It's so funny. Okay. And then so people also wanted to know the reality of like how much money you make. So we'll talk about your in-person sex work in a sec, but what is the reality of OnlyFans and like what was the trajectory, do you think?
Yeah, like I was really fortunate enough to like make decent money from the get-go, but it's sort of like the thing where like it's just ebbs and flows, you know, it's not always going to be consistent. So especially with like, you know, investing your money and stuff, it's like you have to really show that consistency. So that was like the harder thing, like when I first started investing. But yeah, I've been really fortunate enough to make some decent money. But I have worked hard like in the OnlyFans space and sex worker space. Full service worker space. Like I traveled to the States like multiple times to like collab with people and like I was hustling to get to that.
How does the earnings with collabs go? Do you have to split it? Or like when someone reaches out to you and they're like, hey, do you want to collab? Like how does it work?
Yeah, so basically like you'll reach out to collab with someone and, you know, you'll film a video and then you sell it separately on your pages. But like what we try to do is like you sell it at the same time at the same price. So there's no like you sold it more than me or, you know, you sold it before me. Obviously you get the occasional person that will do that and you're just like, you're not a girl's girl.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, like what are you doing? But yeah, most of the time everyone that I've met like in the industry for the most part has been so lovely. So
that's so interesting.
Yeah.
And you mentioned as well before that like you get really excited when it's someone that you have like a connection with. Do you think about that when you're doing collabs? Like, is it someone that you feel like you want to have a friendship with or a relationship with beforehand?
Oh yeah, like I definitely have to vibe with someone because I get I get like really shy and like awkward. So I'm like, if we don't gel, like I'm just like, nah, it's not gonna happen. Like,
And you can't hide it from the camera, you know?
Yeah, you can't hide it. You can't hide it. It looks awkward as fuck on camera, like because you know you're meeting and then like half an hour later you're fucking them. So it's like, you got to sort of gel with someone.
Totally. And what was the journey for then you moving to full service sex work from OnlyFans?
Yeah, so I guess like OnlyFans, like it got to the point where I collab with so many people and I was kind of just like, I don't feel like, you know, making the thirst trap content anymore. Like it's funny because I started full service sex work to like be more like private, I guess. And then like the TikTok blew up. So I was like, oh, okay, whatever. And
you're like, this is my life now.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I kind of got to a point where on OnlyFans where I was just like had exhausted all avenues and I was like, I just want to like while I'm still doing sex work, while like I'm still healthy and able, because obviously like your health can go at any time, like while I'm still able to, like, let's just try to make the most of it. So yeah, that's when I started doing the full service sex work, and I was fortunate enough to have that like experience, you know, that I had like friends in the industry who could tell me like, this is how you keep safe and this is like what you do. And so I kind of like leaned on them to be like, okay, like this and this. And I'm glad that I sort of had that time in the industry, like had that experience with those collabs before I did full service work. Because if I just started it from the get-go, I probably would have got myself into some terrible situations. So yeah, I'm glad I had that experience prior.
Yeah. What's the difference? Do you like OnlyFans or do you like in-person sex work, like sex full service?
I like them both.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like I'm so like, it depends on the day, it depends on the mood.
Yeah.
But I love my regular clients. Like I pretty much only see like regulars now. Like I don't really take on new people.
But surely with your TikTok, like people would find you though and be like, oh my God.
I like honestly like don't even have my ads up anymore, and I still constantly get messages like, oh, I'm like, where are you finding me? Like, how are you finding my number?
So you're basically just like, sorry, the books are full.
Yeah, for now anyway. Okay. I like chop and change. Like next month I might have it up. Who knows?
Yeah, because like, what if someone came through and you're like, oh,
well,
you know what I mean?
Like,
and you're like, oh.
If I get a good message, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll do that.
And then what about the money? People wanted to know about what the money is like for in-person full service sex work.
Well, I mean, it's hard to compare because like the money I make is very much different to like someone who's not online as a full service sex worker. You know what I mean? Like I have that online presence. So obviously my income is going to be a lot different, and like not everyone's going to get that amount of money. It's only because I've had that experience that I'm fortunate enough to get that. But yeah, I would say it's really good.
And you're pretty candid about it. Like you are like obviously on TikTok, like doing the money counts and like are candid about like how much each client has, you've made from each client, which we love.
Yeah, well, I sort of stopped that probably about like 4 or 5 months ago, just to be more like try and not glamorize the industry as much.
Okay.
Because obviously like on TikTok, you know, if you're scrolling through TikTok
and you see that and you think, oh my God, I'm going to.
You see like someone, say a young person sees that and they're like, oh my God, like she makes so much money on with full service sex work, and then they don't really investigate my page because obviously like I talk about the downsides too, but like they see all this money and they don't realize like what I had to do to get that money, you know what I mean? And like I know how to keep myself safe, but like do they know? Because really it's like it's a very dangerous industry and I wouldn't recommend anyone doing it.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into that in a sec because I really do want to chat about the realities of it and like the impact it has on your mental health. But we had a few questions from people wanting to know about the type of clients that you get. Who are the kind of clients that you get? And
honestly, literally, like think about walking down the street and there's a guy walking on the opposite side. That's my kind of client. Like they're just so normal. Like I don't know. I guess when I first started, I was thinking like, oh my God, I'm going to get like, I don't know, like, because I'm such a like, I don't know, I'm such a, like a germaphobe and stuff. I was like, oh my God, like who am I going to, like who are these people that I'm going to see? And like when they started coming in, I was like, actually, they're just like normal people.
Phoebe wanted to know, do you get female clients and people with disabilities as well?
I have had female clients. I think I've had like 3 female clients. So not many.
Yeah. It's mainly just guys.
But I have had a female client where like she wanted to get me to make her come, which was really exciting.
I love that.
Yeah. She was like probably like in her 40s, like 30s to 40s, and she had never experienced it.
Which is so common.
Yeah, it is really common.
Like so many of my friends like haven't ever had an orgasm before.
Yeah.
And I think it's like such a common experience. So that makes so much sense that you'd be like, I need to have this experience. Please get a professional.
Well, it took me a while to have my first experience. And I found out later, because like I have ADHD, I found out that a lot of ADHD women find it much harder to come.
Is that like a concentration thing, do you think?
Yeah, because you're like, your brain finds it hard to focus.
Yeah.
So like focusing on something for such a long period of time is hard. So like I had obviously come like before I've like found that out. But when I found that out, I was like, oh my God, that relates to me so much. So I find like if I am like coming or something, I have to have like multiple things like going on. So I'm like, you know, my brain's just focused.
Yeah, you're like tuning in.
But now I'm like, now I'm good. Like now I can freaking squirt and touch the roof. It's fine. Like, you know.
Well, that was another question that we had. Dylan, he wanted to know, do you often orgasm or is it purely work when you see clients?
I mean, I'd say it's like 50-50. Not a lot of the time. I'm like, it's, you know, we try, but we don't always get there in the time.
Do they expect you to? Like, because obviously for some people, sex can be more about like pleasure for the other person. So, you know, when like a guy's like trying really, really hard and you're like, baby, it's not going to fucking happen.
I feel like a lot of the time, like they're just happy to come, like in a way. And then there's
they're paying
times
for
where
it.
obviously, like, you know, I'll just like get my acting skills on and we're good to go.
Do a performance.
Do a bit of a performance. But like for me, like I can make myself squirt and stuff without coming. So a lot of the time, like if they want that, you know, I'll just quickly do that and like it makes it easy.
Is there what's like off limits? Is there anything in your in-person sex work that you're like, no, I'm not going to do that if clients ask?
Yeah, choking, slapping, any like degrading stuff. I've had people want me to do like race stuff. Like that's just something that's fully against my morals. Like they want me to degrade them, but like say things that I would just never say in real life. Even things like, you know, age stuff. And I'm like, nah, like absolutely not. So yeah, those are the few things that like anything that goes against like what I wouldn't do in my personal life, like no, that's a no for me.
And you obviously have some really famous stories that you are known for with your clients, the brothers being one of them.
Oh my God. I'm so glad you brought that up.
I know. Can you explain to people who haven't heard of this before, what is the story about the brothers?
Yeah, so I had 2 clients who were brothers and they fucked me together.
And you said it was like Eiffel Tower, right? It was like
they
high
took
five.
me all the way to Paris. Like they were like, yeah, but it got a little bit weird.
This is very White Lotus coded, I feel like.
Well, like I still never like actually found out if they were blood related. They like said that they were brothers, and I remember them like messaging me being like, because I was like, so are you guys like related? And they were like, yeah, we've got the same mum, same dad. So I was like, okay, that doesn't tell me we're like I guess you could have like, you know, a stepmom or like whatever.
But they didn't. It was like they didn't do anything to each other?
No.
Okay.
It was very much
they had like a fetish of just like wanting to both.
They just wanted to, like they just want to fuck a girl together. But I feel like that's very common in like, they were very much like rich private school, like vibes, like, you know, had been to private school and like, they just seem like, I don't know, those like typical Sydney boys. Like,
do you find that with clients, like, yeah, this whole really like dynamic of being really rich and powerful makes men want more kind of like fetish, like, you know what I mean? Like more stuff that's pushing like the limits.
I'd say so. Like, especially with porn, like there's just so much out there. It's like, what's the next thing? You know what I mean? Like I see it especially in like I've hung out with like a few celebrities and like see how like their sexual experiences are like very not vanilla. And it's just like, I guess when you have everything you want all the time, it gets boring. But I feel like you almost have to have that in your brain. Like obviously not everyone's going to be like that.
Totally.
But
there's definitely like a correlation happening there.
I feel like it changes people like when you start to get to the billion territory.
We obviously had so many DMs of everyone wanting to know about Peggy Sue.
Yes.
Can you explain that story for anyone who doesn't know about it?
Yeah, so my client Peggy Sue, like I gave him that name because he likes me to peg him. So he likes me to like give him big members in his behind. He's a vibe.
Are we going to get on the pod?
We're trying.
Are we going to get?
I think he'll come. I think I can convince him 100%. He'll do anything I say. Let's be real.
Really?
Yeah, he loves it. He's sort of like, he loves like a domineering woman. So if I just be like, well, you're fucking going on, I don't care what you say. He'll be like, okay, fine.
I'm your goddess. And I say, come on the pod.
Yeah, he actually loves like, if I post about him, like he gets really like a kink out of like seeing, like if I said, oh my God, I just did this with Peggy Sue, I just like shoved a carrot up his ass or whatever.
Yeah.
People like, you know, and people comment like, oh my God, what the hell? Like this is crazy. He actually like loves that. Like he loves seeing like the negative comments. Yeah.
I'm dying. Would people know who he is?
Potentially. Yeah.
Crazy. I can't wait for the tea. I really love this question from Kat, who said, what has sex work taught you about people in general that has been unexpected or surprising?
I guess that there's a lot of bad people in the world, unfortunately.
Really?
Yeah. And I feel like it'll be really hard for me to get into a relationship from being in the sex industry.
That's so interesting.
I just see everyone, like whenever I meet a male, I just think of like, you know, because there's just so many people that you would just think is normal, but really they're like hiding these, you know, things inside of them.
Yeah.
And you just think like, you know, your average coworker, it's like you've got demons.
That's so interesting. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense though.
And just like hearing stories from my sex worker friends, you know, we're just like, we're constantly surrounded by it.
Yeah.
So you just hear like the worst situations. Yeah.
From friends of mine that are sex workers that I've spoken to about this, they will sometimes say like similar thing to you, but then the fact that like so many guys as well are just like craving some sort of like connection or intimacy.
Well, I think that's why OnlyFans like blew up because, you know, it's more of that like intimate vibe, like, you know, one-on-one with the creator, which I think like, I guess as we're more online, you know, people are sort of reaching out to that stuff more. I mean, look at the like AI bots that are coming out.
100%.
People are like, you read all the comments and they're like, how many holes? Like, well, I'm just like, what the fuck?
People are getting into full-on relationships with like AI.
Yeah.
And
even like creators now, I find it interesting. Like there's AI versions of them now. You know, it's like talk to the AI version of me. Like they'll promote it, everything. Like it's all out there. Like this is the AI version of me. I'm like, damn, that's smart. Like
yeah, because you're still making money and it's not even you.
It's like passive income.
Wild. It's so wild. I'm like so intrigued to see how that'll progress because I know in certain countries there's like millions and millions of guys. I did a story about it once about AI like relationships and there's millions of guys who have like AI girlfriends in like Japan.
Yeah. I feel like there's good things to like the whole AI, you know, online experience, but then there's also bad things. Like I feel like some people would want to unlock like violence and things like that if they know that they can get away with it. And then I feel like if that's triggered in their head, like maybe they would do that in real life. Whereas if they were never exposed to that, maybe they would never have thought about it. You know what I mean?
Totally. And like we were saying with porn, like it's such a slippery slope where you just get so used to something that you end up just like pushing the limit so much.
And like it's incredible, like the AI, like I have so many people send me videos of like some like brand has like taken my whole face and it's like me talking, but like it's not me.
You.
Like I'm saying something completely different. So it's like they'll get my videos and then somehow AI it to make me be like, yeah, like you should buy this product. It's amazing. Or like I get it a lot with gambling, like because I would never promote gambling. And like I see it all the time on like Facebook. People will send me stuff and it's like, is this you? Like it looks like you, but it doesn't sound like you. Like
that's so scary.
Yeah, it just makes me like scared for the future because it's like, how is that like how like surely that should have some sort of thing automatically come up when it's like the AI version.
Yeah. And whose responsibility is that? Because it's like so many of the platforms are like, well, it's not my responsibility. But then it's like.
It should be the platform's responsibility, really.
Like it's such a scary industry as well. Like you were saying, like there's great things. But I just think like, yeah, there needs to be some sort of regulation because I'm like, it's going to get real hectic real quickly.
Yeah, especially with like deep fakes and stuff. Like that's just going to. It's already so bad. Like we don't see it, but it's already so bad.
And with you having like OnlyFans, it's like, well, where's the money going if it's a fake version of you and it's not to you? Do you know what I mean?
Well, I'm pretty sure with OnlyFans, like I know they have it that you can't have AI on there.
Okay.
I'm like 99% sure. It could have changed, but yeah. But I know there's obviously websites where, you know, anything goes.
People can just like claim to be you.
Yeah.
With like kind of talking about how people in relationships with AI and want that girlfriend experience. Do you have clients like that as well? Is that work that you would do where you like spend a huge chunk of time and do like sleepovers?
Yeah. Sometimes like I just have clients where we just go out for dinner and chat. Like a lot of the guys I see, they just want to talk.
Yeah.
Like I've had many that finish within the first 5 minutes and it's like, so what do you want to do now? We've
like, we've got 12 hours. Like,
yeah, they're either like, okay, like I'm good, I'll go, or they'll just want to sit there and chat to me, which is nice.
That's kind of nice if you're like, I'm kind of tired.
I feel like that's the best part about it, you know, just meeting new people. And like, I'm so interested, like, with people's lives, like what they get up to, because obviously their life is so much different to mine. So I'm like, tell me about your 9-to-5 job. Like, what's going on in the office? Like, what's Pam at reception doing? You know, like I just love like hearing those sort of stories. So
and like what brought them to you in the first place? Like, like the backstory.
Everyone's got a story. So yeah, it's nice to
how do you navigate? We're talking about it a bit before about your boundaries, but how do you navigate? You were saying that you were really lucky that you have friends that you got to speak to before you went into in-person sex work. And yeah, Chelsea sent through a question around how do you feel safe in this industry and like how do you like protect yourself?
There's definitely like ways that sex workers keep themselves safe like prior to the booking. So when a client will message me, they'll be like, hey, I'll like send them like a thing being like, what do you want? Like tell me exactly what you want. And then we'll go over like what he's after and what I like can do. And then like we'll do safety checks. So like they'll send IDs or like there's other like plenty of ways that sex workers keep themselves safe online. It's very like industry sort of coded. And then, yeah, I think just making it very clear from the get-go. And then I always like do things to keep myself safe. Like I'll never go to their house. Like it's just always been something that's like, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
So I will get like a hotel and I'll like walk down and like meet them in the reception and like, you know, so people can see us around and there's cameras. That can see us, like walk up together. So it's like little things like that. And obviously like keeping your money like in a safe, like, or in like a completely separate room. But yeah, I've been lucky that I haven't had like, I've had bad experiences, but I haven't had anything too extreme. I'm very fortunate. But I have friends who have had some very bad experiences.
Yeah, I can't even imagine.
Even with boundaries, you know, there's always going to be the people that want to take it too far.
And maybe that entitlement of like, well, I'm paying for it. Like,
100%. Like I'm just like, I'm so lucky. Like I'm so glad that I had that experience and I'm like older, like, you know, I'm like 30 now. So I'm like, if I had did this fresh 18, because you have it all the time where guys will be like, oh, can we just do it without a condom? Can we just do it, like try and push you? And like, I'm so glad I'm like, no, like fuck off. Like absolutely not. Whereas back if I was 18, like fresh 18, I feel like I wouldn't have been able to say that.
I feel like so many girls will relate to that.
Yeah.
Just like their first experiences of sex as well, just feeling like that pressure to do things that you maybe not comfortable with because you just like don't know how to say no because like the world has just taught us that that's just like not something that we can do.
Yeah, because the guys will pressure you for sure. So you just got to have the attitude being like, I think like after a while you get a bit jaded. So if someone like says that to me, I'm just like, I'm about to fucking snap at you.
You're like, absolutely not. You probably could just like end the booking and just be like, nah, I'm done.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because it's like if they try it once, it's like, why am I going to waste my time with you? Like continuously going to keep like not respecting it.
And I feel like guys will like sense that fear. So I feel like if you're sort of domineering, like they're going to back off, like hopefully, you know, on obviously not every case, but I feel like if they sense that fear, like they're more likely going to push those boundaries. So obviously like be sure of yourself and make sure you have those like specific boundaries where you're like, I will never cross that.
Yeah, we had someone ask a question around that about how you managed to stay so confident and so sure of yourself. But it sounds like for you, it's just been like that.
Just experience. Yeah, just experience. It takes time, honestly. I'm such a more confident person now than when I first started in the industry.
Yeah. So, I would say age as well. I feel that. I feel like that even just from dating and having sex with so many people and I'm just like, same with you. I'm like, get fucked.
Even when like a lot of the time when I meet men, I'm just so jaded from the industry, I feel like. Yeah. So I just feel like I just don't give a fuck. Like
how do you navigate, because it's something that you are so open online about, like how do you navigate the realities of the industry and like the impact it has on your mental health?
I guess for me, like I'm lucky enough to like I have friends like outside of the industry like who I've known like since way before then, where like when I see them, like it's like nothing has changed. Like we don't talk about industry. We don't talk about like if I want to talk about it, we'll talk about it. But a lot of the time we just like talk about normal shit. And I feel like it's grounding to have that life outside of industry, because I feel like especially when you're online, you're just like constantly consuming and like, you know, TikTok and like things like that, and it can get a little overwhelming. I feel like just even reading comments, I feel like it's just not normal to sit and just read thousands of like what people have to say about you. You know what I mean? Like,
also just posting in general, like
yeah, it's very like weird
when you actually like zoom out of just socials in general. You're like, wow, this is so dystopian. Like you're like the fact that like my career is, and it's the same I think for anyone who, I think it's like across so many industries now, like your career is so linked to like having to post to get traction to then like, it's like you're on this like, what's the rat race?
Like a rat race, yeah, like a fast treadmill. Yeah. And then if you jump off that treadmill, like it's an algorithm, right?
Totally.
So you can't really take a break.
How do you navigate that and like deal with self-care?
I mean, I guess when I first sort of started TikTok, like I haven't even been on there that long, but like I guess I got stressed out about not posting. I was like, oh, what if like, because I noticed like if I don't post one day, like my views will be down the next day. And you just kind of got to, like, I guess I'm at the point now where I'm just like, look, I'm aware that this is going to happen, but this, like, I need this for my mental health. So
do you just take days where you just like don't post, or you like switch off your phone? And
yeah, I take days.
What kind of stuff would you do to like to feel?
Just go outside, go to the beach,
touch grass,
go for walks, play with my cats. Just be in nature, take a bath, read a book. I've been really into pottery lately.
Really?
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, so going to do my pottery.
It actually makes such a difference as well. Like sometimes I'll just book a weekend away just on my own where I'm like just going to like the hot bath somewhere or like and just read and like turn my phone off. And I'm like, you come back and you're like a different person.
Yeah. I feel like sometimes just even like I love just going to a different city and just like, you know, staying at like an Airbnb or something. And just I feel like just because obviously like I film my TikToks and stuff like in the house, and then like, you know, I'm doing like the podcast in the house as well. So I feel like I just need to get out of the house sometimes.
Have a separate space.
And then even when I'm like seeing clients, it's like, well, that's not really like out of like, it is out of the house, but it's like not as enjoyable. You know, it's like I'm still in work mode. So
how do you go with dating? Is that
I don't.
You don't?
Yeah. I was actually like seeing a client for a while.
Well, we had a question about this, about like, do you ever get crushes on clients and how do you deal with that? Because you spoke about that recently.
I have one crush. He's very handsome man. Yeah, no, we weren't dating, but like it got to a point where like I stupidly was seeing him for free. Yeah, because I just loved that dick so much. He was like 40s. He was like silver fox. I always relate to him to like, you know, Mr. Sheffield off The Nanny, or like Mr. Big.
Mr. Big.
Just like, yeah. But I had a little crush. But like, yeah, he was like, because we weren't in the same city, but he was like flying to see me for like a few days, and I'll fly to see him. And
well, that's hard because the lines are blurred, because you're like,
yeah, but sometimes
seeing each other.
And I was like, I was okay with, you know, doing that. But yeah, I just recently saw him like within the last week, like literally. But we just went out for dinner, and like I feel like I'm at the point now where I'm like, no, you're gonna pay. Sorry.
Also, like
the spark's gone, because there was just like a few things that he did that was kind of just like a little bit weird, and like we sort of ended it, and then so I feel like he's just like, you know, lost that now. Like I'm like, sorry, you don't get
back
that
to
anymore.
paying privilege.
Back to pay big.
And are you wanting a relationship eventually? And do you think that it'll like, do you think sex work will get in the way with it? Are you looking for someone who can take everything career-wise for you as it is? Or are you just like, right now I'm just like absolutely not dating, not interested in anything?
Yeah, I think right now I just love being independent. I love being able to do what I want to do without someone being like, no, I don't want you to do that, or you should do this, like, and like change the way I do things. So yeah, I feel like for now, like I have no interest in dating someone. Like I'll see my little holiday fling and like get some holiday dick. But other than that, like I think I would probably have to exit the industry.
Yeah.
And also get therapy, because like I feel like being in a like it's so hard for me to trust someone now. So I feel like I would have to seek therapy to like get into a relationship, to be comfortable being like, okay, I can.
Is that because so many people cheat?
Yeah, you hear it all the time. Unfortunately.
Yeah. we've done a few episodes on cheating and it's just like wild how many. And we do this like post on our Instagram where we
like it's
ask people for our
worse.
secrets. We ask people for secrets and like so many secrets that come through are people being like cheating.
I feel like it's just getting worse as well.
It's just
Like not even in the sex industry, but just like people in general. Like things are just so accessible
right?
these days. Yeah.
And dating apps just make people feel like commodities that you just swipe on. It's like the next best thing is like around the corner.
I know, like the whole like girl guy interactions are so weird these days. Like I went out the other night and like I was out with a group of like hot girls and not one guy came up to us. I was like, what is happening? And I feel like it's just because like everyone's so used to like dating apps, and then like as well, like I feel like they're just like so scared of rejection. And it's like I miss like, I mean, even though it's like probably good that they're not pestering us, but like, you know, it's nice that they'll like confidently like come up and talk at least.
Even
Like,
just to say hi.
just hi and like chat, you know what I mean? Like
It's such a huge thing. We talk about it a lot on the hookup. Like guys will tell us that they like post Me Too don't really know what the line is.
I
And like,
understand that. I get
yeah.
that.
And then I just think digitally, like everyone's so online now that it's completely taken away that ability to just like even, you know, make a phone call and like go up to someone in public and be like, hi, I think you're cute or whatever. And I think like the roles around who initiates has been really blurred and people are really confused of like, I think a lot of women still want guys to initiate, but then feminism has made guys really confused about whether they should initiate.
Yeah, they don't want to be like, you know, like their video up on Instagram being like, this guy's pestering me. Like
Exactly. And like can get cancelled so quickly. So it's like politically such a hard time, right?
It is. Yeah, I feel like everyone's confused.
And speaking of, Ella sent us a question about that, saying, I personally feel like sex work is a form of empowerment for women, but my friend disagrees. What are your thoughts about the empowerment aspect for women in the industry?
I mean, I think it's very empowering because like we get to set our own hours. Like we get to choose who we work with, you know, we get to choose our rate. And I feel like obviously there's downsides to every industry. Like being an independent full service worker is like, you cannot, like a lot of people compare that to like sex trafficking. I feel like that's a whole different ball game compared to like an independent worker. But I think sex work can be feminist for sure.
And Elle said, what are your thoughts about autonomy and coercion in the industry? Is it really feminist? I mean, it sounds like you have really strong boundaries in place, right? I think
you have to have those boundaries in place. I think, like sex work has come such a long way. It's definitely like not like how it used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And definitely like it's so everyone's experiences are so different. Like there'll be obviously like still so many women in places around the world that are like being coerced or like don't have that autonomy.
Of course.
In sex work.
I feel like we're very lucky like in Australia to like for sex work to be like decriminalized, and obviously like in the States and stuff, a lot of that would still happen, and it still happens here too. But yeah, I think Australia's done such a good job at like, you know, keeping sex workers safe as well. Like, because I know there's a lot of bad stuff that happens like overseas. Yeah.
Totally. Okay, well, last couple of questions are around sex tips. A lot of people wanted to get your advice on, as a professional, what are some of the ways that they can have a better sex life? So Ash wanted to know, I love this, how to give the best soul-sucking head ever.
Oh, I love this question. I feel like everyone talks about either like using hands or like using mouth and hands, but I feel like eye contact's such a big one. Like just keeping your eyes on them. And like I like to do it without hands. Like
Okay.
yeah. Like
So
I like to go right down.
Where
there
are the
and do
hands
that.
going? Just
The
like
hands are just like touching, you know, keeping him like stimulated on his body. And then it's just like full like glug glug.
Are you going like, it was funny, we spoke to Angela White maybe last year and she had like this hookup hot take, and her hot take was that deep throat is like really overrated.
Yes.
Do you agree?
I like deep throat.
Okay.
I really like deep throat. But I mean, it's so like, it depends on the person. Some people love it. Some people don't like it. So it totally depends on the guy. And if he prefers hands or prefers, but I just love getting down there and getting it past the tonsils. I don't know. It's just something, I love a good challenge.
Yeah, there's something powerful about it.
I love a good challenge.
Okay, what about maybe you can do like 5 top sex tips across the board of just like what have you learned from doing the work you do about like things that guaranteed to have like make better sex.
Okay. Well, I guess like maybe one would be if you're on top, like so your legs don't get tired out, like sort of squat your legs in squat position and like, you know, hold on to the wall to try and like keep yourself up. I feel like that makes me go way longer than just like, you know, normal cowgirl position. Yeah, eye contact is a huge one. And just like, I feel like connection is such a big thing. Like I feel like for me, like I always try and connect with the person because I feel like that's just like if you're connected with someone, you're more likely to like have a good time.
I love that. Do you feel like, how do you make that happen with people that you're just meeting for the first time? I guess you've got regular clients though, right? You've built that up.
I sort of like just listening to people and like asking them questions. Like, yeah.
Kayla, this has been so much fun. I feel like we could talk forever. And just I'm like, yeah, you just have so many stories and like so much wisdom. And it's just so nice to chat to someone who's just so like candid and real about their experiences. And yeah, our listeners are obsessed with you and it's really exciting that we've done this today.
I'm so happy to be here.
So thank you so much. And yeah, make sure that you check out Storytime where we'll get so much more tea and potentially Peggy Sue one day maybe.
Woo-hoo. Exciting.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.